My child, stop scrolling. I am speaking to you. This is not a coincidence. This is not just another video. This is your final warning. The urgency you feel right now is me, reaching into your spirit one last time, because the window is closing, the door is trembling, and eternity is watching your next move. If you delay even one more moment, you may lose everything I've prepared for you. Hear me. This is the last call before silence. Watch this to the end. Your soul is at stake. So I send my voice into your soul tonight to awaken you from delay, to shake you free from the chains of postponement, to make you recognize that this hour is sacred. This hour burns with my love. This hour drips with my mercy. And yet this hour trembles with urgency, because once it passes, you cannot retrieve it. I know you feel the weight of my words pressing harder than your breath, because I have surrounded you in this moment so you cannot escape the truth. You must act, you must choose, you must step forward while I extend my hand. The enemy will whisper that you can wait, that you have tomorrow, that you can come when you feel ready. But I speak louder than his deceit to tell you the truth. Tomorrow may never dawn for you. Tomorrow may close with silence. Tomorrow may betray you, and your soul must not gamble on another sunrise when eternity hangs in the balance right now. So listen, my child, this is your window. This is your last chance to embrace what I have been trying to give you. The reason your heart is racing is that your spirit knows I am telling you the truth, and love refuses to stand quiet while you teeter on the edge of loss. Hear me. I am reaching for you. I am crying out to you. I am urging you with the fire of heaven itself, because you cannot afford to let this pass by unnoticed. Open now. Respond now. Surrender now. For this is not just another day. This is the day your eternity waits for you to decide. Do not wait for a better time, my child. The lie of a better moment is the snare that has stolen countless lives. Souls who thought they had more space, more days, more chances to turn. Yet their tomorrow never came, and their delay became the very chain that locked them outside the promise I had prepared. I say this to you with the weight of heaven pressing against your heart so that you will not fall into the same trap, because what you think you postpone safely is slipping through your grasp like sand. Every second that passes is a grain falling into eternity, and once it has dropped, you cannot pull it back. This is why I tell you the deception of waiting is deadly, because waiting feeds apathy. Apathy births regret, and regret cannot undo what hesitation has destroyed. So I thunder this truth into you. The voice that tells you to delay is not your friend. It is the adversary clothed in convenience, the serpent dressed in comfort. If you heed him, you will awaken too late to find the door barred, the chance gone, and the moment turned into judgment. But I, your Lord, do not desire that ending for you. This is why my words come tonight with fire, with trembling urgency, with the sound of a trumpet shaking your soul awake. Today, not later, not tomorrow, not someday. Today is the hour of salvation. Today is the hour of response. Today is the hour when the eternal meets the temporary and demands your yes. If you wait for tomorrow, you are gambling with more than breath. You are wagering with eternity, and eternity does not play games. Eternity does not bend to excuses. Eternity does not offer a second rehearsal. It is final. It is absolute. It is forever. I love you too much to let you drift toward that cliff blindfolded. So I rip away the veil and tell you plainly, if you allow it, your delay will destroy you. Your hesitation will rob you if you feed it. Your excuses will betray you if you trust them. For the enemy has one desire: to keep you occupied until the window slams shut. If you let him lull you into comfort, you will wake too late, and all the cries of "I thought I had more time" will not reopen the opportunity you ignored. Look at me, child. I am here now, and I am speaking because there is still a moment left to grasp. There is still a door slightly open. There is still an offer extended, but the hand you see stretched toward you will not remain extended forever. I cannot emphasize this enough. The urgency you feel now is the last invitation heaven will release before silence takes its place. So cling to it, seize it, embrace it. This is not merely a warning. This is love refusing to abandon you. This is mercy refusing to let you perish without being shaken awake. This is my heart refusing to let you slip into eternity unprepared. So hear me. Do not wait. Do not stall. Do not plan to return later, for later is too late. The hour is now. The call is now. The choice is now. Your soul's rescue is now. I have stretched my hands toward you again and again. Each time you hesitated, and each time you turned to distractions, yet my arms remained open, waiting, pleading, reaching, because my love knows no limit. But hear this now. The moment has come when hesitation can no longer be entertained. The patience that has held back judgment is not endless, and what stands before you is the final extension of my mercy, the very last opportunity eternity will place before you. The intensity you sense in these words exists because heaven itself leans over the edge, urging you not to miss what is now your final invitation. Every second that passes hardens hearts, and I will not let yours grow stone cold without fighting for you. That is why I repeat with urgency. This is not just another call. This is not yesterday's whisper or last week's nudge. This is the ultimate cry, the last reaching hand, the closing door still cracked open before it locks forever. I need you to grasp the seriousness of this moment, because I have lifted you through storms, carried you when you stumbled, and preserved you when you should have fallen. Every act of my hand has led you to this crossroads where the last decision stands waiting. If you think you can treat this casually, let me expose the lie. You are standing on the knife edge of eternity. One step determines destiny. One response determines forever. No turning back will be possible once this night passes into history, for there is a line in time that once crossed cannot be uncrossed. A point of no return where opportunity becomes memory and memory becomes regret. I do not want you to reach that place, which is why my voice is heavier than ever, trembling in your spirit, breaking through your thoughts, refusing to let you dismiss what I am saying. I love you too fiercely to let you drift unaware into destruction. But I cannot hold out my hand forever if you will not take it. I cannot extend what you refuse to grasp. Though I desire none to perish, I will not override the choice of your heart. So tonight is not about chance, it is about decision. Tonight is not about feelings, it is about surrender. Tonight is not about postponing, it is about yielding. If you think you can wait for another season, understand this: there will not be another. This is the final opening given to you, the last cry before silence, the ultimate chance before doors close. I tell you plainly that if you continue to delay, what is now invitation will become judgment. What is now mercy will turn to sorrow, and what is now an open embrace will become an eternal separation. My arms are outstretched one more time, but not without urgency, not without trembling, not without fire. For this is the hour in which you must decide, and every angel surrounding you urges you to move. Every stirring in your chest is my spirit confirming that this moment cannot be wasted. So hear me, child. Take hold while you can. Answer while you still have breath. Respond before silence falls, because I cannot hold this open any longer, and tomorrow is too late. The voice inside you that stirs uneasy restlessness is not confusion or random thought. It is my spirit awakening the depths of your being, pulling you from complacency, warning you that comfort will destroy you if you cling to it. What you feel, the burning tug, the tightening chest, the inability to brush off these words, is holy confirmation that I am pressing upon your heart a choice that cannot be deferred. You cannot quiet that inner stirring because it does not rise from your own mind. It comes from eternity. I will not let you rest until you face what you avoid, because I love you enough to disturb your peace, to save your soul. I will break your routines, disrupt your distractions, and unsettle the false security you trust, because your life is too precious to let you sleep while danger advances. You wonder why the urgency feels heavier tonight than ever. It is because this is the final alarm, the last trumpet within your spirit before silence descends. Perhaps you have pushed conviction aside before, ignored quieter whispers in the past, but tonight I have amplified my voice until it shakes your core. You cannot mistake it. You cannot excuse it. You cannot drown it. For my spirit refuses to let you rest comfortably while eternity waits for your answer. The agitation you feel, the struggle between yielding and resisting, reveals the battle for your destiny is raging now. Heaven and hell both watch your response. While the adversary lulls you with soothing lies of postponement, I pierce his deception by igniting a fire in your soul that will not allow ease until you choose. This restlessness is not punishment, it is mercy. It proves I have not abandoned you. It proves your heart remains tender enough to hear me. Yet that tenderness will fade if you harden yourself against my call. I warn you, to ignore this stirring is to risk silencing it forever. The more you resist, the weaker your ability to respond. I do not want you to reach the point where my voice is no longer heard, conviction no longer stirs, and restlessness no longer grips. By then the door will be closed, my spirit withdrawn, and opportunity gone. Respond while you still feel me drawing. Answer while you still sense my spirit moving. Surrender while you still have the capacity to say yes. The uneasiness within you is not torment, it is rescue. It snaps you awake and jolts you from complacency. Act now before that restlessness fades and leaves you in deadly calm, the calm of an untouched, unawakened, unprepared soul. I cannot allow that without one more desperate cry. Do not silence the stirring you feel tonight, for it is the last warning, the final mercy, the urgent knock upon your heart, and ignoring it will cost more than you can bear. Answering it opens life, hope, and eternity into your hands at this very moment. Many before you ignored my cries until their final breath slipped away and their last chance was gone. Their voices echo through eternity with regret that cannot be erased because they believed they had more hours, more seasons, more space to choose. Indecision chained them to a fate they did not expect. I speak to you so that you will not join their unending sorrow, for my desire is not your perishing, but your life. This is why I stand before you tonight, drawing a line in the sand, declaring that I do not want you to repeat the mistake countless others made. Those who assumed conviction would always return, who thought the stirring of my spirit would wait, who presumed the door of grace would stay open indefinitely. When their final hour arrived, They found silence where pleading once echoed, darkness where light had shone, separation where mercy had beckoned. I cannot bear for you to follow that same tragic path. My words carry weight because history shows that people delay until delay becomes destruction. Yet you, beloved, still stand in a moment of possibility. I press you now precisely so you escape the ruin that swallowed others. If you could hear the cries of those who wasted their moment, if their endless laments reached your ears, you would understand why I plead so strongly. They would warn you not to waste another heartbeat, not to postpone another decision, not to believe the lie of endless time. They know the truth. More time does not always come. More opportunities do not always appear. More chances do not always exist. I, your Lord, am determined that you do not learn the truth too late. I have positioned you here to hear these words, to feel this urgency, to know without doubt that this is heaven's final invitation to you. I will not let you walk away unaware. I will not let you leave without realizing the eternal weight of what stands before you. Love will not let you perish in ignorance or drift silently into destruction, or repeat the error of those who ignored me until it was too late. Yet love also demands a response. I cannot save those who will not turn. I cannot rescue those who refuse to yield. I cannot deliver those who cling to delay. This is the turning point where everything changes. Here the line divides whether you will mirror those who refused until they were lost or be the one who heeds the call, responds while it is still today, and enters the life I purchased for you. Hear me with fire. Do not be counted among those who waited too long. Do not be numbered with the ones whose delay destroyed them. Do not join the crowd of regret that wails forever. I have chosen you to hear this now, so that you may live, escape, and walk free while a door remains open. But the door is closing quickly. Once it shuts, no begging will open it, no crying will unlock it, no pleading will move it. Do not wait another moment. Your eternity hangs in the balance. The adversary whispers that you can wait, that another opening will come, that you can enjoy your way now and return later. I tell you in truth, his voice is poison disguised as comfort. His promise is a snare dressed as freedom. His goal is singular, to hold you still until the moment slips away, to convince you tomorrow is safe while tomorrow evaporates, to lull you with false assurance so that when the final chance disappears, you realize too late you were deceived. I uncover this now because I do not want you fooled. The enemy knows his time is short and strains to drag as many souls with him as he can. He works not with iron chains, but with delays. Not with flagrant denial, but with gentle persuasion that murmurs, "Not now, maybe later." Countless lives were lost because they listened, believed, and assumed they had more time. The one who promised tomorrow laughed as the opportunity closed forever. But I, your Savior, will not leave you vulnerable to that scheme. I stripped the mask from his lie so you can see it clearly. Death wrapped in convenience, destruction hidden in postponement, loss cloaked as ease. If you follow that whisper, you will walk willingly into your own ruin. Hear me, my child. You do not have to yield to deception. I am speaking louder, stronger, and clearer than his voice, cutting through the haze he casts, awakening you to the reality that now is the only moment that belongs to you. Now is the only breath guaranteed. Now is the only chance you truly possess. Seize it before it evaporates. The adversary will go on promising later until later arrives. But I tell you with urgency, this is the moment. This is the crossroads. This is the hour of decision. No enemy, distraction, or excuse can steal it from you if you rise and say yes to me. When you choose me, his whispers lose power, his hold breaks, and his schemes collapse. But until you step forward, his voice keeps weaving illusions, soft yet suffocating, comfortable yet killing. I cannot bear to watch you become entangled, which is why I press so firmly, urge so strongly, and call so relentlessly. I love you too much to watch you slip quietly into his snare. So I cry to you tonight with holy urgency. Stop listening to that voice. Refuse its promise of tomorrow. Reject its deception, for it offers only ruin. I offer life, freedom, and peace. But only if you choose now, reject the lie, and embrace my truth. Only if you silence his whisper by answering my call without another heartbeat of delay. Hear me plainly. Tomorrow will be too late. You stand on the edge of a line that once crossed cannot be retraced. I must open your eyes to the gravity of this boundary. It is not merely a selection among options. It is the threshold between eternal light and endless darkness, the place where destinies are sealed and reversals do not exist. Though your mind suggests you can turn back whenever you wish, I declare clearly that a moment comes when the choice is final, when the path you choose cannot be undone, when the step you take fixes your direction forever. You are there now, poised between life and death, blessing and curse, hope and despair. I cannot allow you to treat this casually. This line is unlike any you have faced. Here my mercy, extended so long, waits for your decision. If you turn away, you cannot stroll back as though nothing occurred, for the door will close and the chance vanish. I know this sounds weighty, but only truth can rouse you from the haze around your mind. If you could see the multitudes who stood where you stand, who played with delay, who assumed they could return at will, you would tremble at how many discovered that the moment passed and could not be recovered. Once the door sealed, their cries found no answer. Their steps could not be retraced, their chance could not be restored. I do not want you numbered among them, so I shout louder into your soul. The line is before you, the moment is holy, the decision is final. Choose with the full weight of eternity in your hands, for every second of indecision leans you toward losing everything. I will not sugarcoat this. Hesitation here destroys. Apathy here ruins. Delay here is death. This is the last line. Once crossed, there is no return. My love is so fierce, and my desire for you so deep, that I speak with urgency and passion to keep you from missing what is before you, to keep you from wasting the very last opening of grace, to keep you from stepping blindly into regret that cannot be undone. I know you feel the trembling inside, the burning that says this is no ordinary hour, and that is my spirit testifying that eternity is pressing near. Heaven is pulling at your soul, and I stand with open arms, urging you to seize what remains. If you move past without choosing, no flood of tears will reopen the gate. No pleading will alter finality. No wish will recover what was lost. With holy fire I tell you, this is your line, your moment, your final chance. Come toward me now while the door is still open, for tomorrow it will not be. The cry of heaven rises above the clamor of the world. Though distractions strive to drown it out, your spirit knows the difference. The noise of the world drags you toward emptiness, while my voice calls you into life. That contrast presses heavily upon you, because the fleeting sounds of pleasure, ambition, and comfort cannot silence the eternal ring of truth in your heart. Understand, the call you hear is not imagination or a fleeting notion. It is eternity breaking through the veil of the present, reaching your core, so you cannot dismiss it. This call carries weight because your destiny is attached to your response. Many voices clamor for attention, yet none match this urgency. This is the call that determines forever. You sense it cutting deeper than all others because it comes from the throne of heaven, witnessed by angels and watched by all creation to see whether you will answer. It is not a whisper to brush aside. It is the trumpet blast of eternity calling you to decide. Know this: no earthly music, no promise of gain, no applause of people can compare with the gravity of this voice. The world will keep shouting, offering distractions, lies, and shallow comfort to keep you deaf. But I raise my voice above them all so that, even while culture screams, you hear me clearer, stronger, and undeniable. This is not guilt speaking, nor fear. It is love that refuses to let you perish. Ignoring this call will silence it forever. Answering it will open what you have longed for but never found in the world's noise. I know you feel the struggle, the pull between eternal and temporary, lasting and fading, life-giving and life-stealing. That tension proves you are at the crossroads and heaven is contending for your heart. I say plainly, no one can answer for you. No one can decide in your place. No one else can hush the competing voices. It must be you, here, now, in this moment. If you turn away, the world will welcome you with more noise, more distraction, and more false promises, but it will leave you emptier than before. What you hear now is the only voice that can fill, rescue, and save. If you refuse it, you will search for peace in vain, for peace lives only in obedience, surrender, and answer. So I lift my cry again above the noise. Do not ignore me. Do not pretend you cannot hear. Do not drown this call with distractions. This is heaven reaching into your soul. Once ignored, it will not repeat. The invitation will pass. The call will cease. The silence that follows will be unbearable. But you need not enter that silence. Answer now while the cry echoes in your heart, for it is the voice of love, rescue, and life, and by tomorrow it will be gone. The treasures set aside for you, the blessings you have longed for, the answers you have prayed for with hidden tears, wait just beyond this threshold, ready to be placed in your hands. Yet they cannot be unlocked without surrender, for hesitation stands as the barrier to the gates. If you delay, those gates will swing shut before you step through, and what was meant for you will pass into eternity unrealized. I do not want you to lose what I designed. I have woven promises with your name, miracles tied to your obedience, victories bound to your yes. They will not wait forever, because hesitation corrodes opportunity, erodes destiny, and suffocates blessing. Every moment you linger on the edge rather than step forward nudges the gates closer to closing. When they shut, you will look back with ache at what could have been yours if you had yielded when I called. I warn you because I love you too deeply to see you miss what was always your portion. The urgency you feel is not only about avoiding loss, it is about embracing abundance. I am not merely saving you from destruction. I am leading you into fullness, into peace and joy the world cannot give. But this way opens only by decision, and indecision robs faster than refusal, for indecision is still rejection in softer colors. Do not believe that standing still is safe. In this hour, standing still is turning away. While the enemy tells you waiting causes no harm, I say plainly that waiting will shut the gates before your eyes, and the blessings you long for will fall out of reach. I do not want you to face that agony. Thus I speak with passion to shake you awake, break the chains of hesitation, and tear down the prison of indecision. Your yes tonight will unlock doors you cannot open alone. Your yes tonight will release what has been withheld. Your yes tonight will swing the gates wide before they close forever. Child, I hold these blessings in my hands now, ready to release them, but they will not be poured out if you turn away. I say this not to frighten, but to awaken you to the weight of this holy moment. I did not create you for emptiness or destine you for regret or form you for loss, but for life, abundance, and glory. None of it will reach you if you cling to hesitation, for hesitation is the thief at your door. Cast it aside and step forward. Only then will you see the gates open, taste the fullness, and walk in what I promised. If you delay, the gates will not remain open, and the chance will vanish like vapor, never to return. So again, with holy urgency, do not let hesitation steal what I have prepared. Do not allow delay to close the gates before you enter. Do not let indecision rob you of all I long to give. Tonight the gates stand before you, open yet trembling on their hinges, and they will not wait for tomorrow. I have watched you wrestle in secret, torn between surrender and resistance, longing for change yet holding back, as though the cost were too great. Every sleepless night, every quiet tear, every inward battle, I have seen it all. I have not turned away from your struggle. But the wrestling must end tonight. This is the hour to step decisively, not tomorrow, not after more questions, not when circumstances shift, but now, because your hesitation has grown into a heavy weight upon your soul. I offer release if you will let go and step into my arms. I have watched you carry burdens too heavy, fight wars you cannot win alone, and fill emptiness with what leaves you thirstier. I have waited patiently, but now patience yields to urgency, for the moment for decision has come and cannot be delayed. Though I gave you space to wrestle, that space is closing quickly. Your battle cannot continue without consequence. The choice you make tonight determines whether the struggle ends in peace or hardens into chains you cannot break. I do not want you bound or broken or crushed by endless striving. This is why I cry out that this is the hour to step forward, to lay down fear, cast away excuses, silence doubts, and yield to the love that has pursued you through every season of life. I will not let your wrestling define eternity if you answer now. But if you keep wavering, the hesitation you consider harmless will consume you, draining strength, stealing hope, and leaving you empty. And I cannot bear to watch when freedom stands offered before you. So I speak with authority into your spirit. Stop resisting me and walk with me. Stop circling the decision and embrace it. Stop delaying what your heart already knows is true. Deep within you recognize that I am the only way, the only truth, and the only life, and you will not find rest until you finally surrender. Child, I did not come to condemn but to rescue, not to shame but to lift, not to take from you but to give you everything that truly matters. But it requires your step, and that step must be now. If you walk away again, the weight of battle will grow unbearable, the conflict will crush you, and the chance to end it will disappear. There is no neutral ground left, no safe delay, no middle road. This is the hour of decision. With all the strength of heaven I urge you, take the step tonight, for it is the last chance you will be given. My heart cannot wait endlessly while you wander from path to path, because love, true love, cannot stay silent when danger looms close. I speak with the weight of eternity behind my words. I have been patient. I have extended mercy. I have called in whispers and in storms, in silence and in fire. But love does not permit endless postponement. Love requires an answer. Love seeks a response. Love cannot not be treated as optional, for my sacrifice was not casual, it was complete. Blood poured out, pain endured, every breath on the cross given for you. That same love now seeks the fullness of your heart, not a fragment, not leftovers, but total surrender of all you are. Though I allowed you space until now, that space is closing, for the seriousness of this moment exceeds any you have faced. If you think you can wander forever, let truth shatter that illusion. The road of wandering does not stretch endlessly. It ends at a cliff where return is impossible. I cannot allow you to keep drifting toward that edge. That is why my words burn with urgency tonight. If you continue to wander, you will reach the point where turning back is no longer possible. I will not watch you fall without one last desperate cry. Therefore, I call you to stop drifting and to give me everything. Not half, not almost, not someday, but now, fully and without reservation. Anything less than surrender is still rejection, and anything less than obedience is still disobedience. I cannot accept the partial when I gave all. The piercing you feel is my spirit cutting through every excuse, justification, and comfort, showing that nothing less than total surrender will do. You fear what surrender will cost, but what you give up is nothing compared to what I will pour out. Surrender does not rob, it rescues. It does not strip, it crowns. It does not enslave, it frees. If you hesitate, you will lose everything while imagining you protect something. If you yield, you will gain everything, though it feels like giving all. I say this because my love cannot be ignored, delayed, or treated lightly. It is the force that formed the universe, the fire that sustains life, the sacrifice that broke the curse. And that love demands a decision. I cannot wait without end, because the urgency of this hour means the time to answer has come. If you turn away again, there will be no more waiting, no more chances, no additional mercy to extend. The final call has been given. The last chance lies before you. Decide now. My heart cannot keep waiting while you wander. My love cannot hold out while you turn away. I plead with you, surrender fully, surrender completely, surrender now, for tomorrow will be too late. The path before you shines with promise, lit by the destiny I crafted for you. But know this, its brightness will not remain if you turn aside at this critical hour, for light does not keep shining upon a road repeatedly rejected. Though I illumine the way ahead, hesitation and resistance will dim the ground beneath your feet until what was once clear becomes shadowed and what was open becomes closed. I do not say this to frighten but to awaken you, because every step right now carries eternal weight, and your choice determines whether you continue in radiance or slip into darkness and regret. I cannot watch you drift into obscurity without warning that the light you see depends on your response. If you yield, the glow will increase, the way will broaden, and direction will become undeniable. If you resist, the glow will fade until you cannot see where to go, until the road disappears and you wander blind. I do not want blindness, snares, or shadows for you. I speak urgently because your decision now determines whether you step into more light or more darkness. I hold the torch before you, but I will not force you to follow it. If you turn back, the flame will not continue burning for you. Abandon the path and the fire grows dim. The clarity you now sense will vanish. Every step away will feel heavier, colder, emptier. I cry out to prevent that outcome because I created you for brightness, clarity, and hope. But all of that rests on choosing rightly now. The crossroads is here, and indecision is no longer harmless. To hesitate now is to drift toward shadow. To resist is to snuff the light. To walk away is to embrace unending night. I cannot let you step toward that without lifting my voice like thunder. Once again I call, choose the path of light, choose the way of truth, choose the road that leads to life. The brightness you now see is an invitation that will not wait until tomorrow. If you let this pass, the very light guiding you will be gone, and no searching will restore it once it fades. I am merciful, but I am also just, and the hour for decision cannot be delayed forever. Look, the path shines before you, but it will not remain if you turn away. Step forward now while it glows, while it beckons, while the gates are open. For if you turn back tonight, tomorrow the path will be dark and no longer found. Do not mistake this call as one of many that will continue to return. What you hear is not another ordinary invitation. It is the ultimate appeal, heaven's last plea to your soul. It feels heavier than anything because eternity leans upon this moment, demanding an answer. I have spoken in former seasons, through circumstances, people, and quiet stirrings, but never has the call carried such finality. Never has the urgency pressed so firmly. Never has the weight been so absolute. Hear clearly, this is not one more chance among many. It is the last among none. You cannot assume that tomorrow will hold what tonight offers. When this crisis passes, it will not be replaced, repeated, or echoed again. The door will close and the voice will fall silent. Feel the seriousness of this moment, for eternity hangs in the balance. If you shrug it away, if you dismiss it expecting another opportunity, you deceive yourself. Mercy has stretched to its final extension. Though my love is endless, my invitation is not, because love must be chosen. I will not let what was purchased with blood be trampled, what was offered with sacrifice be ignored, or what has pursued you with mercy be treated lightly. Tonight I stand before you with a cry that will not come again, a call that will not repeat, an urgency that will not return. With all the passion of heaven I declare, this is the final moment, the ultimate invitation, the last cry, and your response must be now. Waiting will close it, delay will silence it, hesitation will destroy it. Once gone, no pleading, striving, or tears will restore it. I cannot soften this truth without betraying the seriousness of what is at stake. I love you too deeply to say anything less than the full weight of reality. Understand this, the urgency you feel pressing harder than your own breath is not merely conviction. It is the sound of the last call, the final trumpet, the closing knock. If you refuse, the silence that follows will be permanent. If you respond, the floodgates of life will pour into your soul, and everything will change. Therefore I call with a fire that will not wait, a passion that cannot pause, a cry that is the last cry you will hear. Take it, embrace it, and answer it, for there will never be another like it. This moment decides everything. The trumpet is already lifted to the lips. Understand how close the sound is, how near the final blast that seals the moment forever. When that note is released, there will be no more turning, no more time to decide, no space to reconsider. I reveal this because the clock of heaven is nearly finished. The trumpet's announcement will mark the close of mercy and the onset of judgment. Once it sounds, no hand opens what has been shut. No voice reverses what has been decreed. No cry reopens what was ignored. This is why my spirit presses you now. The trumpet is at the mouth. Breath is drawn, the note is prepared, and when it erupts, the line will be crossed into forever. Do not live as though time stretches endlessly, or as though the trumpet is a distant threat. The sound is nearer than breath, closer than heartbeat, arriving in an hour when many least expect, in moments filled with distraction and on lips rehearsed with excuses. I will not have you caught unprepared when that sound splits the sky. So be ready before it comes, yield before it breaks forth, surrender before the note is heard. The trumpet will not pause for delay, wait for hesitation, or slow for indecision. It will sound at the appointed second, and eternity will shift. Those who responded will rejoice, those who delayed will weep. I cannot bear for you to be among the latter. Therefore I cry louder than the world's noise. The trumpet rises, the blast nears, the moment closes. Now is the only time you have. I have pleaded with you before, yet never with urgency so sharp or final, because the trumpet's edge is upon you. When it sounds, everything seals, every choice fixed, every destiny locked. You will not plead for another chance, bargain for more time, or rewind what is finished. Act now, surrender now, respond now. The trumpet will not wait, and tomorrow will be too late. Right now my mercy is like a floodgate swung wide, waters of forgiveness, healing, and new life racing toward you with unstoppable force. Yet I must tell you, this torrent cannot remain open forever. Though I have restrained judgment and let grace flow without measure, the time approaches rapidly when the gates will close. When they do, the waters stop, the flow ceases, and what is now abundant will no longer be found. Grasp the seriousness of this moment. Many mistook the constant flow of mercy as endless, believing forgiveness would always be available and grace forever waiting. They were deceived. When the gate shut, they found dry ground and silence where rivers once rushed. I do not want that for you. That is why I speak with passion and fire tonight. Do not let this flood pass you by. It surges toward you now with cleansing force to wash away every stain, failure, and regret. But you must step into it while it still flows. Standing on the shore is not enough. Delay will not carry you in. Telling yourself you will enter later will not help. For later the waters will be gone and the gate sealed, and only the memory of what might have been will remain. I cannot stay silent while you risk losing what lies before you. Hear me. The flood is here. The waters rise. Mercy overflows, but it will not continue forever. The dam will close and judgment will fall. If you have not entered by then, you will remain outside with no way in. I will not soften this warning. It would be cruel to suggest you always have more time when the window is closing. Step into the waters now. Let them cover, cleanse, and renew you. Hesitation will leave you dry when the stream is gone. Regret will haunt you when the chance has passed. But if you yield now, the flood of mercy will sweep away every chain, weight, and fear, carrying you into freedom none can steal. I offer it freely, without cost and without condition except your yes. But your yes must be now. The crest is forming, the gate trembles, the moment to step in is nearly over. Do not wait another heartbeat, for tomorrow the waters may be gone. You have asked again and again for signs, for proof that I am speaking, for confirmation that my hand is on you. Cheer with clarity. This very message is the final sign, the unmistakable evidence that heaven has bent low to meet you. I have answered through circumstances, quiet whispers, unearned protection, and doors opened where none existed. Still you doubted, still you wondered. So now I give you a sign that cannot be denied. The weight of these words burning like fire in your spirit. The stirring that refuses to be silenced. The holy urgency gripping you even now. Do not ask for another sign. None will be given. This is the last. This is the confirmation you demanded. This is the proof that I have pursued you relentlessly and will not allow you to hide behind uncertainty. My voice has thundered more times than you know, but tonight it comes with finality. This is it. Respond now. If you continue to demand more, it will not come, for heaven does not play games with eternity. I will not indulge endless demands for proof when my blood has already been poured as the ultimate evidence, my cross lifted, my resurrection proclaimed. These words seal that testimony. To reject them is to reject not mere words, but the outstretched hand of God. I say this because I love you too much to leave you deceived, imagining you can delay while waiting for further proof. Delay will close the door, and no additional sign will follow. But if you yield now, this sign becomes your rescue and turning point, the moment when heaven rejoices over your answer. Hear me with holy fire. After tonight, you cannot claim ignorance. You cannot say you did not know or did not hear. This sign is written on your heart, burning in your chest and echoing in your mind. It will not let you rest until you respond. Here is the danger. If you ignore or dismiss it, the silence that follows will be permanent. You will remember this night with regret. But if you embrace and answer it, this moment will mark the beginning of new life, new destiny, and new eternity. And all heaven will celebrate your decision. You asked for a sign. I have given it. It is the last before the door shuts. Do not ignore it. Do not postpone. Do not turn away. The sign you begged for is here, and tomorrow will be too late. Right now, angels around you press you toward obedience, for they see the nearness of eternity more clearly than you. They know the hourglass of mercy is nearly empty. They sense how quickly the door is about to shut, and their urgency reflects the urgency of heaven. While you hesitate, they lean forward, waiting for your yes, longing for your surrender. They have watched so many delay until their chance was gone, and cannot bear to see you repeat the same mistake. Even now they stir the very atmosphere, intensifying conviction, increasing the weight in your spirit, amplifying the call so you will not brush it aside. They are ministers of my will, flames of fire, pushing you nearer to truth. At this moment they contend for your decision because, once the final second passes, nothing more can be done. No intervention remains. Though unseen, they bend close, urging you not to waste what may never return. You may feel that invisible pressure, that holy heaviness, and that is them partnering with my spirit to awaken you before it is too late. They have witnessed the glory prepared for those who surrender and the torment that overtook those who rejected. They are desperate that you not fall into the latter, desperate that you not trade eternity for the fleeting comfort of delay, desperate that you embrace what I offer. The intensity you sense is because all heaven leans in. The great cloud of witnesses watches. Angels urge, the Spirit pleads. I myself am calling. Only your response remains, for heaven cannot decide for you. Angels cannot speak yes on your behalf. Even I will not force your choice. But I will marshal everything possible to bring you to the precipice of decision. And that is what you feel now, the combined cry of eternity pressing against your hesitation. For when the gate was shut, they found nothing but dry ground and silence, where once there had been overflowing streams. And I do not want you to suffer that fate, which is why I speak with passion and fire tonight, urging you not to let this flood pass you by, because it is surging toward you now, rushing with the cleansing force that could wash away every stain, every failure, every regret. But it requires that you step into it while it still flows. For standing on the shore and watching is not enough. Delaying your step will not carry you in, and telling yourself you will enter later will not help. For later, the waters will be gone and the gate will be sealed, and nothing will remain but memory of what could have been yours. And I cannot stand silent while you risk losing what is before you. So I shout to you tonight, the flood is here, the waters are rising, the mercy is overflowing, but it will not continue forever. For the dam will close and judgment will fall. And if you have not entered by then, you will be left outside with no way in. And I cannot soften this warning, for it would be cruel to pretend you always have more time, when in truth, the window is closing. And so I call with authority, step into the waters now. Let them cover you, let them cleanse you, let them renew you. For hesitation will leave you dry when the stream is gone, and regret will haunt you when the opportunity has passed. But if you yield now, the flood of my mercy will sweep away every chain, every weight, every fear, and carry you into freedom that nothing can steal. And I am offering it freely without cost, without condition other than your yes. But your yes must be now. But the flood is already cresting, the gate is already trembling, and the moment to step in is almost over. So do not wait another heartbeat, for tomorrow the waters may be gone. You have asked again and again for signs, for confirmation that I am speaking, for proof that my hand is upon you. And I tell you with clarity and urgency that this very message is the final sign you will receive, the unmistakable evidence that heaven has bent low to meet you in this exact moment. For I have already answered through circumstances, through quiet whispers, through protection you did not earn, through doors I opened when none should have opened. Yet still you doubted. Still you wondered if it was truly me. And so now I bring before you a sign that cannot be denied. The weight of these words pressing into your spirit like fire, the undeniable stirring in your soul that refuses to be silenced, the holy urgency that grips you even now. And I tell you plainly, do not ask for another sign beyond this, for none will be given. This is the last. This is the confirmation you demanded. This is the proof that I have pursued you relentlessly and will not allow you to excuse yourself with claims of uncertainty. For my voice has thundered in your life more times than you realize. But tonight it comes with finality, saying, "This is it. Respond now. And if you continue to demand more after this, it will not come. For heaven does not play games with eternity. And I will not indulge endless requests for signs when my blood has already been poured out as the ultimate proof. My cross already lifted as the eternal evidence. My resurrection already declared as the irrefutable sign. And now these words themselves are the last seal upon that testimony. And if you reject them, you reject not merely words, but the hand of God stretched out to you. And I say this because I love you too much to let you remain deceived, thinking you can always delay while waiting for more proof. For delay will close the door and no further signs will follow. But if you yield now, this sign becomes your rescue. This sign becomes your turning point. This sign becomes the moment where heaven rejoices over your response. And child, I tell you with holy fire, you cannot claim ignorance after tonight. You cannot claim you did not know. You cannot claim you did not hear. For this sign is written upon your heart, burning in your chest, echoing in your mind. And it will not let you rest until you respond. But the danger is this: if you ignore it, if you dismiss it, the silence that follows will be permanent, and you will remember this night forever with regret. But if you embrace it, if you answer it, this moment will mark the beginning of a new life, a new destiny, a new eternity, and all of heaven will celebrate your decision. So hear me now, beloved. You asked for a sign, and I have given it, and it is the last one you will ever receive before the door shuts. So do not ignore it. Do not postpone. Do not turn away, for the sign you begged for is here, and tomorrow will be too late. Right now, the angels surrounding you are pressing you toward obedience, for they see the closeness of eternity far clearer than you can. They know the hourglass of mercy is nearly empty. They understand how quickly the door is about to shut. And their urgency reflects the urgency of heaven itself. For while you hesitate, they are already leaning forward, waiting for your yes, longing for your surrender. Because they have watched how many souls delayed until their chance was gone. And they cannot bear to see you repeat the same mistake. And so they are stirring the atmosphere around you even now, intensifying the conviction you feel, increasing the weight in your spirit, amplifying the call so you will not brush it aside. For they are ministers of my will, flames of fire sent to push you closer to truth. And at this very moment, they are contending for your decision, because they know once the final second passes, nothing more can be done. No intervention will remain. And though you cannot see them, they are here bending close, urging you not to waste what may never come again. And you may sense that invisible pressure, that holy heaviness in the room, and that is them working with my spirit to awaken you before it is too late. For they have witnessed the glory prepared for those who surrender, and they have also witnessed the torment that fell upon those who rejected. And they are desperate for you not to fall into the latter, desperate for you not to throw away eternity for the fleeting comfort of delay, desperate for you to embrace what I have been offering. And I tell you plainly, the reason you feel such intensity right now is because all of heaven is leaning in. The cloud of witnesses is watching. The angels are urging. The Spirit is pleading. I myself am calling, and the only thing left is your response, for heaven cannot decide for you. The angels cannot speak yes on your behalf. Even I will not force you to choose me, but I will send everything possible to push you to the edge of decision. And that is what you are experiencing now, the combined cry of eternity pressing against your hesitation. And you must decide before the pressure lifts, because once it does, silence will remain. And the angels who now rejoice at the thought of your surrender will instead mourn as they record your refusal. And I do not want that to be your story, for their longing is to celebrate, to announce your name in heaven's courts, to cry out with joy that another has been saved from destruction. And they are ready to rejoice in this very moment, if you will yield. But if you continue to resist, their joy will turn to sorrow, their expectation to grief. For they will know the chance has been wasted, and eternity has been sealed in loss, and I cannot allow you to go without telling you. The angels are not pressing you for nothing. They know the weight of what is before you. They know the line is about to be crossed, and they are urging you as forcefully as they can through my Spirit to choose rightly now, because tomorrow will be too late. Do not mistake the patience I have shown you for indifference. For every moment I withheld judgment, every season I extended mercy, every time I allowed you space to wrestle was not because I did not care, but because my love was holding back what justice demanded. Yet now the patience that once shielded you has reached its end. And I speak with fire because the hour of delay has run out. And I will not let you think that my silence meant approval, nor that my waiting meant weakness. For I am the Lord of all creation, and I could have ended your opportunity long ago. Yet I restrain myself for your sake, that you might hear this call and respond. But now I tell you with trembling urgency, I have waited long enough, and this is why the tone you hear tonight is sharper than ever. Why the weight pressing on your spirit is heavier than before. Because I am no longer speaking in soft suggestion. I am crying with urgency that cannot be ignored. And if you still resist, then the patience that covered you will turn to the justice that cannot be delayed. For the time of mercy offered without end is gone, and the window that remains is the last. And I must warn you that to treat this fire as optional is to despise the very love that has carried you until now. For love has limits in time, though it is eternal in nature, and mercy has a boundary, though it is endless in supply. And when that boundary is crossed, the endless supply is no longer available to you. And I do not want you to discover that truth by walking into silence. So I reveal it to you now with flames of warning, because the urgency of this moment demands clarity. And I will not allow you to mistake waiting for apathy again. I will not allow you to assume that delay is still possible. I will not allow you to wander thinking that I will continue forever to hold back judgment. For I have held back long enough. And now I speak with burning intensity, so that your heart shakes and your soul trembles, because only such fire can break through the lies that tell you there will always be more time. And I assure you with all authority, there is no more time. The patience has run its course, the mercy has reached its boundary, and tonight you must respond or forever lose the chance. And this is why my words pierce more deeply than before, because they carry the weight of finality. They carry the flame of judgment held back for the last time. They carry the urgency of a God who has waited as long as he could, and now says with holy fire, enough. Decide now, for the moment cannot be stretched any longer, and tomorrow will not bring another chance. The clock of eternity is striking even now, each toll resounding through the unseen realm. And with every beat, another fragment of mercy passes, bringing you closer to the final moment, when the hands will meet at their appointed place. And when that strike is complete, no pleading, no argument, no desperate cry will reopen what has been closed. For time itself will have finished its testimony against you, and opportunity will be locked away forever. And I speak with urgency, so that you feel the weight of this ticking in your spirit. For you may not hear it with your ears, but your soul feels the vibration of each strike. A trembling within that tells you the end of the countdown is near. And I cannot allow you to ignore it, because so many before you thought the clock would run endlessly, that they had more minutes, more hours, more chances. But when the final strike came, they were stunned by the permanence of it, stunned by the silence that followed, stunned by the reality that eternity had begun and no reversal was possible. And I do not want the shock to be yours. Which is why I am telling you now, while the clock is still moving, while the final strike has not yet landed, that this is your warning, your last opportunity to act before the china forever resounds. And I will not soften this truth, because to soften it would leave you unprepared. And I love you too much to let you be caught unaware. So I declare to you, the clock is almost done. The hands are nearly touching, and when they do, the mercy you now feel will be replaced by silence that cannot be broken. And I urge you to consider how brief a moment truly is. how quickly seconds slip into history, how fragile life is when balanced on the edge of eternity, and how dangerous it is to gamble with time when you do not control a single breath of it. For the very breath in your lungs right now is evidence of my mercy extended. Yet that mercy is tied to the ticking clock, and once it strikes its final note, breath will no longer buy you opportunity. Tears will no longer purchase you mercy. Cries will no longer open closed gates. And I cannot let you continue in false assurances, though time bends for your convenience, because it does not. And I am telling you with holy fire, the countdown is almost finished. The striking is nearly complete, and once the sound ceases, there will be no return. And this is why my words press upon you more forcefully than ever before, because the closing strike is not far off. And when it lands, you will stand on one side of eternity or the other. And I long for you to stand in light, but the choice rests in your hands tonight. And you must act before the clock completes its final toll, because tomorrow will already be too late. I am closer to you right now than the very breath filling your lungs, nearer than the beat of your heart, nearer than your own thoughts. Yet even in this closeness, I will not violate your freedom, for love does not force itself. And though my presence surrounds you, though my hand hovers ready to lift you, though my spirit presses heavily upon you, I will not chain your will. I will not drag you unwillingly, for I desire your choice, your surrender, your yes given freely. And this is the danger, that even while I am closer than your breath, you can still push me away. You can still turn aside. You can still harden yourself. And if you do, the intimacy you now sense will depart. The nearness you feel will fade. And the silence that follows will leave you emptier than you have ever been. And I do not want that for you, which is why I draw it even near now, stirring you so powerfully that you cannot ignore it, breaking through your thoughts so thoroughly that you cannot dismiss it. Because I want you to recognize that this closeness is not ordinary. It is not guaranteed to remain. It is a holy moment where eternity leans upon you. And I am pleading for your answer while I am this near. For if you walk away now, you may never feel me this close again. And that is why I cannot allow you to mistake this nearness for permanence, because it is not. It is mercy. It is invitation. It is a final gift being handed to you. And if you refuse it, it will be taken back. And I will not force myself where I am rejected. I will not invade a heart that will not open. I will not remain where I am unwelcome. For love never coerces. It waits for response. And this is the very moment when your response matters more than anything else. Because while I am closer than breath, I will withdraw if you push me away. I will step back if you harden yourself. I will cease knocking if you bolt the door. And then all that will remain is silence, and the silence will torment you, because you will remember what it felt like to have me near. Yet you will no longer find it. And that memory will burn with regret. And I do not want that to be your future. So I speak urgently, pressing upon you while I am this near, saying to you, open now, yield now. Answer now, for my nearness is the greatest mercy you will ever know. But it is also the greatest danger if you waste it, because nothing is more tragic than feeling me this close and still refusing. And so I stretch out to you once again, closer than you can imagine, calling you without forcing, urging you without binding, pleading with you without dragging. For I desire your love, not your compulsion, your surrender, not your resistance. And I tell you plainly, this is the moment to answer while I am near. because once I withdraw, tomorrow will be too late. The choice you stand before tonight is not small. It is not a matter of days or months. It is not something that touches only the surface of your life. For the decision you make in this hour will shape not just your coming seasons, but the entirety of your eternity. And I cannot stress this enough. The weight of forever hangs in the balance of your response, and every breath you take right now echoes into a destiny that stretches without end. And this is why the urgency presses heavier upon you than anything else you have ever faced, because the outcome of this choice will not fade with time. It will not be undone with another opportunity. It will not be softened by another chance, for this moment is final in its consequence. And though you may think you can revisit it later, you cannot, for later does not belong to you, only now does. And this is why I cry out louder than the noise of your thoughts, saying, realize what hangs upon your answer tonight. Realize that heaven and hell both are watching, that angels and demons alike lean toward your decision, that your soul's eternal dwelling will be determined not by wishes or feelings, but by the choice you make right now. And you must see that this is why you feel such trembling in your spirit, because eternity itself presses upon you, and the line between glory and ruin rests in your hands this very hour. And I cannot let you dismiss it as though it were casual. I cannot let you pretend it is something you can ignore. I cannot let you believe the lie that it is a small matter. For it is the greatest decision you will ever make, greater than any relationship, greater than any ambition, greater than any possession, greater than any dream. For all those things fade. But this decision will outlast the earth itself, and I call you with holy fire to understand that the yes or no you give tonight will echo into unending ages, and you will live forever in the consequence of it, whether in joy beyond comprehension or in despair beyond measure. And I tell you the truth, because I love you too deeply to let you continue unknowing, because to ignore this is to gamble with forever. And no gamble is more dangerous, for you do not have the luxury of endless chances. You do not hold tomorrow in your grasp. You do not control the span of your life, but you do hold this moment. You do hold this chance. You do hold the power to decide now. And what you choose tonight will set the course not only of your life, but of your eternity. And I urge you with all the urgency of heaven, do not waste this chance. Do not throw away forever for the illusion of safety and delay. Do not sacrifice what lasts for what fades, but choose rightly. Choose now. Choose life. Because once this moment passes, tomorrow will be too late. Lay down every excuse you have been holding on to, for none of them can shield you when eternity demands an answer. And I tell you with urgency that no reason, no justification, no explanation is worth the price of forfeiting the life I purchased for you with my own blood. For excuses may comfort you in the present, but they will betray you in the end, leaving you empty when it matters most. And I see how you cling to them. The thought that you are too broken, too unworthy, too entangled in your struggles, or that you can somehow fix yourself before surrendering. Yet all of these are lies meant to delay you. And I am here tonight to strip them away with the light of truth. Because nothing you fear, nothing you hide, nothing you claim as a reason to delay compares to the loss of missing what I am offering. For I died not so you could make excuses, but so you could be free. And the freedom I bring does not wait for you to become worthy. It meets you in your unworthiness and transforms you, but only if you will release the excuses that keep you back. And I say with holy fire, drop them now, because they will not serve you. They will not protect you. They will not follow you into eternity. And if you cling to them, they will drag you down. And I cannot let you walk into destruction thinking your excuses will stand before me. For they will crumble like dust in my presence, and all that will remain is whether you chose to yield or not. And so I plead with you. Nothing you think you gain by holding back is worth the loss of life eternal. No pleasure is worth the pain of regret. No possession is worth the emptiness of separation. No ambition is worth the ruin of your soul. And if you could see clearly, you would know that every excuse is a chain around your neck pulling you from what I am offering. And tonight, I break the power of those chains if you will let go. But you must decide, for I will not tear them from you if you refuse. I will not force freedom on a heart that clings to bondage. But I call you to throw off every excuse and step into the life I gave myself to provide. For I endured the cross. I bore the weight of sin. I faced the agony of rejection so that you could live free. And to turn away with excuses is to trample the price paid. And I cannot allow you to walk unaware of how serious this is. For excuses will not save you. Excuses will not protect you. Excuses will not give you peace. Only surrender will. And the door is still open now, but closing quickly. So I tell you again, drop the excuses. Drop the delay. Drop the false reasoning. Because nothing is worth losing the life I laid down to give you, and tomorrow will already be too late. Do not let shame hold you in its grip. For though it whispers that you are too stained, too far gone, too broken to be received, I tell you the truth. Forgiveness is already waiting, fully prepared, fully available, but only if you accept it without delay. For hesitation allows shame to tighten its hold until you are paralyzed. And I do not want you bound when freedom has already been purchased. And I know the weight you feel from your past, the mistakes that replay in your thoughts like accusations, the failures that make you believe you are disqualified. Yet I assure you, none of these are stronger than my blood. None of these can outweigh the sacrifice that has already covered them. None of these have the authority to keep you from me unless you let them. And I cry with urgency because shame is a cruel master. It convinces you to hide when you should run toward me. It convinces you to wait when you should come boldly. It convinces you that tomorrow will be safer. But tomorrow is the very lie that steals from you. And I am breaking that lie now by declaring that forgiveness is here now. Immediate, complete, but only for the one who reaches out and receives it. Not for the one who delays. Not for the one who hides behind guilt. Not for the one who listens to shame more than to truth. And so I say to you, do not hesitate another heartbeat. For the pardon you long for, the cleansing you need, the peace you crave, are all in my hand stretched toward you. But they will not be poured into a heart that refuses to open. And every moment you delay is another moment shame deepens its roots. And if you wait too long, it will choke out your ability to respond at all. And I cannot bear to see that happen. Which is why my words burn so intensely tonight. Because I know how shame works, how it convinces you that later will be easier. But later will not come, and the weight you carry will crush you when the chance has vanished. But if you answer now, that same weight will dissolve instantly. The chains will shatter, the guilt will lift, and you will walk in freedom as though the stains never existed. For that is the power of the forgiveness I purchased for you, complete, and irreversible. But it is only yours if you seize it without hesitation. And I warn you lovingly but firmly. Hesitation is refusal, and refusal leaves you condemned under the very weight I died to remove. And I did not endure the cross for you to carry shame another day. I endured it so you could walk free right now. So I say again with fire, do not allow shame to keep you back. Do not postpone what is already offered. Do not think you must clean yourself before coming. For I alone cleanse, I alone restore, I alone forgive. But you must receive it now. Because tomorrow, the chance will be gone. Do not lean on the fragile hope that another sunrise will meet you, for tomorrow's light is not promised. And 2, wait, for it is to gamble your eternity on a moment that may never arrive. And I warn you with urgency that postponing until morning will prove fatal to your destiny. For many before you plan to choose later. But their breath left them in the night, and their chance was swallowed by silence. And I cannot bear to see you fall into that same deception, thinking you have more time when time is not yours to control. For your days are not guaranteed. Your hours are not in your hand. Your very heartbeat is sustained by my mercy. And if I were to withdraw it, you would stand in eternity immediately, with no chance to return, no chance to decide, no chance to plead. And this is why I call you now. While you still breathe, while you still hear my voice, while you still feel conviction pressing in, because this is the only safe time, the only sure moment, the only guaranteed chance you will ever have. And I tell you this truth in love, though it burns like fire. Waiting for tomorrow is the most dangerous lie the enemy has whispered, because tomorrow is the rope he uses to drag souls into eternal loss. Tomorrow is the illusion that blinds hearts until it is too late. Tomorrow is the thief that robs men of their final opportunity. And you must not let it rob you. For tonight you stand at the door of decision, and tonight is all you are given. And if you choose to push it away until dawn, you may never see that dawn, and the weight of regret will crush you forever. And I cannot let you go without telling you. Act now, for delay is destruction. Hesitation is ruin. Postponement is death. And yet in this moment, mercy still reaches for you. Forgiveness still stretches toward you. Life still offers itself to you. But only if you seize it before this night ends. And do not say within yourself, I will wait until I feel ready. For readiness is a lie. Surrender is what makes you ready. Obedience is what prepares you. Decision is what opens the door. And that decision must be made now, not later. Not when circumstances are easier. Not when emotions feel stronger. But now while my spirit calls you. Now while the door is open. Now while eternity holds its breath for your answer. And I plead with you with the urgency of heaven, do not count on tomorrow. Do not rely on another dawn. Do not risk your eternity on a sunrise you may never see. For this is your hour, and if you let it pass, nothing will restore it. Nothing will repeat it. Nothing will undo the loss. So hear me, child. Act now, for tomorrow will be too late. Every chain that has held you bound, every invisible weight that has dragged you down, every unseen shackle that has wrapped itself around your soul can be shattered in a single instant. But only if you choose to step into the freedom I am offering now, for the power to break them is already present. My authority has already crushed their strength, yet I will not impose it against your will. And if you delay, those same chains will tighten until escape becomes impossible. Because bondage does not remain neutral, it grows heavier with every moment of hesitation. And I see how long you have carried them. chains of fear that whisper you cannot change, chains of guilt that replay every failure, chains of addiction that promise relief but deliver emptiness, chains of despair that convince you are beyond help. And I tell you plainly, all of them are liars, and none of them can withstand the power of my words spoken into your surrender. But the key is your decision, for I will not snap what you refuse to release. I will not destroy what you cling to. I will not free what you will not yield. And that is why I speak with such intensity, because you do not realize how close you are to being crushed by the very things you think you can manage. For they will not stay as they are. They will grow. They will strangle. They will suffocate. And I cry out to you tonight to step into the freedom that only I can give. Because if you respond, the chains will fall instantly. Their power will dissolve. Their grip will be broken. And you will walk in liberty that nothing on this earth could provide. But if you turn away, the chains you feel now will harden like iron. The weight you carry will become unbearable, and you will discover too late that the chance to be free was lost when you hesitated. And I do not want that for you. Which is why I am pressing into you so forcefully, stirring your spirit so deeply, because freedom is closer than your breath. Victory is nearer than your next step. Deliverance is already waiting. But you must say yes. You must decide without delay. You must allow me to break what you cannot. And if you do, you will rise from this moment lighter than you have ever felt, new in ways you cannot imagine, whole in ways you never thought possible. But if you resist, if you wait for tomorrow, the chance for release will vanish with the moment, and the chains will remain heavier than before, and the regret of missing this chance will echo louder than their weight. So I plead with you, child, do not carry them another heartbeat. Do not let them tighten further. Do not let them define your eternity. For I am here now to break them, and I will do it instantly if you decide. But the decision must be now, or tomorrow will already be too late. All of heaven is leaning down in this very moment, watching intently for your response. For the choice you make now is not hidden in secrecy, but witnessed by eternity itself. And the weight of your decision is greater than you realize, because every angel, every unseen servant of light, every heavenly gaze is fixed upon you, knowing that what you choose tonight will determine your eternal destiny. And I tell you with truth that nothing in your life has ever carried such gravity. For this is not about a fleeting desire, not about a temporary path, not about circumstances that shift with time. This is about forever. And your answer will echo into unending ages. And heaven waits with expectation, longing for your yes, ready to erupt in joy if you surrender. For there is a celebration prepared that will ignite the moment you yield. And I want you to feel that weight, to know that this is not a private matter of your own choosing alone. For eternity is never private. Eternity is always witnessed. And the record of your decision will stand forever, written in the annals of heaven or marked in the silence of rejection. And you must understand that all of creation leans toward this hour, holding its breath, waiting to see whether you will embrace the life offered or turn away into loss. And I do not speak this to crush you, but to awaken you, to show you that the moment before you is holy, sacred, filled with a significance beyond anything you have ever encountered. And the very fact that you feel this weight pressing on your soul is proof that heaven itself is pressing, that angels themselves are urging, that eternity itself is bending near. And child, I tell you with fire in my words, your whole future, not just your days on earth, but your endless existence beyond them, hangs in the balance of this decision. And I cannot make it for you. The angels cannot make it for you. Even the Father will not override your choice. For love demands freedom, and freedom demands response. And this is why the silence of heaven is so heavy right now, because all are waiting for you. All are listening for your answer. And you cannot pretend it does not matter. You cannot act as though it will be unnoticed. You cannot escape the eyes of eternity that are upon you in this hour. And if you respond, if you yield, the rejoicing will shake the heavens. Your name will be proclaimed. Your destiny will be sealed in glory, and you will never again doubt your worth or your place. But if you refuse, the silence that follows will be unbearable. For heaven will record your rejection, and eternity will echo with what could have been. And I do not want that for you. Which is why I speak so urgently, so directly, because heaven's gaze is upon you. Eternity's record is being written, and your response is everything. And I call you now to act, for tomorrow will be too late. If you take this step toward me, you will not stand alone. For my strength is already stretched out to uphold you, to steady you where you feel weak, to carry you where you feel unable. And I say this with urgency because I know one of the reasons you hesitate is the fear of falling, the fear of not being strong enough to remain. But I assure you with truth, your ability to endure does not depend on your own strength. It rests on mine, and I will never fail you. For I am not calling you into a life sustained by your own willpower, but into one upheld by my unshakable hand. And the reason I speak this now is because the enemy has whispered into your heart that you cannot make it, that you will stumble again, that you will fall back into old patterns, that you are too weak to finish what you begin. But I break that lie with fire at night. For I am your sustainer. I am your shield. I am your fortress. And when you step into surrender, you step into my strength. And my strength will never run dry, never weaken, never abandon you. And this is why your yes tonight is safe. Because you are not relying on yourself anymore. You are leaning on the everlasting arms that cannot be broken. And if you could see what I see, you would know that even now my angels stand ready to walk beside you. My spirit is ready to fill you. My power is ready to anchor you, and nothing in hell or on earth will be able to pull you from my hand once you have chosen me. And yet I will not force this upon you. I will not impose my strength where you will not surrender. For it is released only when you yield. And that is why this decision is so urgent, because you are not being asked to hold yourself up. You are being invited to rest in the one who holds the universe together. And child, I long for you to stop fighting in your own power, to stop believing the lie that you must be perfect before you come, to stop fearing that you cannot make it, for I am the one who makes it possible. And I say to you with authority, if you step now, my strength will wrap around you like a fortress, and you will never be alone again. But if you walk away, you will continue trying to carry what you cannot, and it will crush you. For no human can bear the weight of eternity without me, and I cannot stand silent while you struggle under a burden I already bore. Which is why my words burn with urgency tonight, urging you to place your weakness in my hands. For I will cover you. I will empower you. I will sustain you. And your fear of falling will be silenced because you will discover that I am holding you, and I will not let you go. But this is only yours if you decide now, because tomorrow will be too late. There are countless souls who stood at the very edge of surrender, who felt the same pull you feel now, who sensed the same fire urging them to act. Yet they turned away at the last moment, convincing themselves they had more time. And now their cries rise from eternity with no remedy, their voices filled with regret that cannot be reversed, their tears unending because they squandered the chance that was placed before them. And I cannot allow you to follow that same path without warning you. For their stories were not written to be repeated in you. They are warning so that you would awaken while there is still breath in your lungs. And I am pleading with you because I see the weight of their loss. I hear the sound of their laments, and I know the agony of realizing too late that the door was shut. And I tell you this not to frighten you, but to show you the seriousness of this hour. For you are standing where they once stood. You are feeling what they once felt. You are hearing the same call they once heard. And your response will determine whether you join them in regret or whether you escape into life. And I assure you with holy fire, I do not want you to be among those voices crying without answer. I do not want you to share their fate. I do not want you to walk the road of delay that leads only to sorrow, which is why I speak to you so directly now. Because love will not let you perish in silence. Love will not let you fall into the same trap without one final cry to awaken you. Love will not let you join the chorus of regret if you are willing to respond. And child, I urge you to see how thin the line is between salvation and loss, how close you stand to either glory or ruin. And I plead with you to step into life while it is still before you. Because once the moment passes, there will be no turning back, no second invitation, no further opportunity. And if you ignore this, you will discover too late that the regret of those who turned away has become your own. And I cannot let that be. Which is why I cry out louder, pressing harder, declaring more urgently. For this is your chance to break free from the fate that countless others chose. This is your moment to escape the endless lament that fills eternity. This is your hour to step into light instead of darkness, and I am holding it before you, offering it freely, urging you to take it. But you must decide now, for hesitation will push you into the same ruin. And I tell you plainly, do not join their cries. Do not repeat their mistake. Do not allow regret to be your eternal song, for I am here to rescue you from that end. But the decision must be made tonight, because tomorrow will be too late. This is why my voice thunders within you like fire, breaking through every barrier, piercing every wall. Because love will not allow you to perish silently. Love will not let you drift unnoticed into ruin. Love refuses to watch you fall without lifting a cry that shakes your very soul. And though this urgency may feel overwhelming, it is mercy clothed in flame. For without it, you would continue in slumber until it was too late. And I cannot permit that. So my words come with force, with weight, with intensity you cannot ignore, because gentleness has been offered again and again. Whispers have reached you before, but now is the hour where whispers are no longer enough. Now is the hour where thunder is needed, where fire is required, where the full force of heaven presses upon you, because your eternity is on the line. And I would rather you feel shaken tonight than lost forever tomorrow. I would rather you tremble under the sound of my voice than sink silently into separation. I would rather you be pierced by urgency now than pierced by regret without end later. And so I will not soften this call. I will not reduce its weight. I will not quiet its fire. For it is love that roars, love that burns, love that refuses to stand still while you edge toward destruction. And child, you must understand this urgency is not anger. It is not condemnation. It is not rejection. It is rescue. It is the hand of eternity breaking through your darkness. It is the shout of a Savior refusing to watch you die without intervention. And though it feels intense, it is born from compassion deeper than you can imagine. For I have carried every wound, endured every pain, suffered every blow so that you could live. And now I will not let that sacrifice be dismissed in silence. So I call you with a voice that cannot be ignored, a cry that echoes louder than your fears, a fire that burns stronger than your excuses. And I tell you plainly, respond while the fire still burns. For if you resist, the fire will not continue forever. It will be withdrawn, and the silence that follows will be unbearable. But if you answer now, that same fire will become life in you, light in you, hope in you, and you will never again doubt the depth of my love. And I assure you that though my words thunder tonight, they thunder only because love demands it, because mercy requires it, because eternity depends on it. And I cannot allow you to perish without lifting this cry. So hear me with all your heart. Love itself is thundering in you right now, and it is the last thunder you will hear before silence falls. So yield while the fire is still burning, for tomorrow will be too late. You may feel unworthy to answer, convinced that your flaws disqualify you, that your failures outweigh my invitation. But I tell you the truth with burning urgency. I am not asking you for perfection. I am not demanding flawless strength. I am not waiting for you to fix yourself before you come. I am only asking for your surrendered heart right now. For it is not your merit that opens the door. It is my mercy. It is not your righteousness that saves you. It is my sacrifice. And if you continue to wait until you feel clean enough, strong enough, worthy enough, you will never step forward, because no one is ever worthy on their own. And that is why I came. That is why I endured the cross. That is why I bore the weight of sin, so that you could come as you are, and let my love make you whole. And I say this with urgency, because hesitation rooted in feelings of unworthiness is still rejection, and rejection seals your eternity. And I cannot watch you hide behind shame when I have already paid the price to remove it. And so I declare to you now, your stains do not disqualify you. Your weakness does not exclude you. Your past does not define you. Your failures do not determine your eternity unless you cling to them. And if you surrender them into my hands, they will vanish under the blood I shed for you, washed completely, remembered no more. But this only becomes true if you yield now. Not later, not when you think you are ready, because readiness will never come. Only decision, only surrender, only trust. And I call you tonight with urgency. Do not let the lie of unworthiness rob you of what I died to give. Do not let the illusion that you must be perfect keep you from the perfection of my grace. Do not let the weight of guilt keep you bound outside the open door. For the door is open now, and I am calling you in. Not because you deserve it, but because I love you. Not because you earned it, but because I paid for it. Not because you are perfect, but because I am. And I gave myself for you so that your unworthiness could be covered forever. And if you respond, your weakness will become strength. Your emptiness will become fullness. Your brokenness will become beauty. Your fear will become peace. But if you delay, you will remain bound in the lie that you must fix yourself first. And that lie will cost you eternity. and I cannot allow you to remain in it without thundering into your soul tonight saying, stop hiding behind the excuse of imperfection. Stop waiting for a day when you feel worthy. Stop believing you must earn what is freely given. For I am not asking for your perfection. I am asking for your heart. And I am asking for it now because tomorrow will be too late. I have carried you through storms when you did not even realize my hand was shielding you. I have preserved you in nights when despair should have overtaken you. I have lifted you when the weight of life pressed to crush you, and every moment of protection was not random chance, but my deliberate covering keeping you alive for this very hour. And now I am asking you to finally release control. To stop holding fragments of your life as though you know best. To stop giving me pieces while clinging to the rest. And to let me be Lord over all, not just in words, not just in thought, but in truth, in surrender, in obedience. For partial yielding is still resistance, and I cannot reign where I am not given everything. And I speak this with urgency because I know you have allowed me to touch certain areas while guarding others, inviting my presence in what feels safe, but keeping hidden the places you fear to release. And tonight I am telling you that true freedom, true peace, true life only comes when you let go of all. For I have proven myself faithful through every storm. And I will continue to be faithful if you trust me with everything. But you must stop holding back. You must stop treating me as helper only when convenient, and allow me to rule as king over your heart, over your choices, over your destiny. And child, I say this not to burden you, but to free you. For carrying control has weighed you down more than you admit. And surrender will lift what striving has never solved it. And tonight, the urgency is not just about avoiding judgment. It is about stepping into the fullness of life you were created for. But that fullness cannot be given to a divided heart. It can only flow into the one who yields without condition. And I am calling you to that place now, because the time of half measures is over. The time of wandering between two opinions has ended. The time of delay has reached its limit. And you must decide if you will let me be Lord of all or not at all. For tomorrow, the door will be closed. Tomorrow, the storm will break. Tomorrow, the chance will be gone. And I cannot say this more plainly. This is the moment of final surrender, the hour of ultimate decision. The dividing line between life and loss. And I urge you with the fire of heaven, yield everything. Trust fully. Let go completely. Now, my child, if my voice has shaken something deep within you, do not let it fade. Return here, not for noise, not for distraction, but because you know this is where I meet you. This channel is not a feed, it is a flame. And every word you hear here is a spark meant to ignite your soul. Subscribe not to follow a voice, but to follow mine. Turn on notifications, not for routine, but so that when I speak again, you don't miss the moment I reach for you again. Share this with someone whose soul you know is trembling too, because you may be the final messenger they receive. Come back often, for I will speak again. And when I do, I want you ready, not wandering, not distant, not deaf. For every video is not content, it is a call. Every moment you spend here is heaven pulling you closer. Do not take that lightly. Return with expectancy, wait with reverence, watch with urgency, because the next word I release may be the one that seals your breakthrough or your last invitation. Amen.